It's the Texas weather discussion video for Wednesday, the 6th day of February. I'm Donovan Neal. We're very mild today, but then we have a risk of a few strong to severe storms later this afternoon. And then tomorrow, with that cold front, will feature falling temperatures, and then we will be very cold by Friday and through the weekend. So here's the upper air look across the continental United States. You can see we have that cold core trough it's very progressive, rotating through the east, doing a good job of creating a southwest flow aloft, also doing a good job of bringing a bit of rain to the state. This is the radar earlier this morning. You can see much of the rain remained off to the northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, basically moving northeast towards the Red River areas. But if you don't get rain this morning, you'll have another shot of rain this afternoon, and we'll see what we're talking about here. Temperatures early this morning, of course, very mild, like this week, very mild. Highs mostly lows mostly in the upper 60s early this morning, even towards Rockwall and McKinney. Those are in the low 70s already. Around the nation, much of the coldest air in the north, where they're starting their day below zero, but very cold, but very warm down here in the south. And of course, that colder air is getting closer to Texas with that new cold front starting to come through. Here's a watch warning map. We have winter weather advisories extending all the way down towards Oklahoma, extending all the way towards places like Minneapolis, St. Paul, and even parts of New York State. And down here in Texas, we have wind advisories and red flag warnings for parts of the Panhandle, even parts of like El Paso, Texas, and the extreme western tip of Texas. But down here in North Texas, we remain pretty quiet for now. On the convective outlooks, we have a marginal risk of severe storms. We have the risk of severe weather all the way through the Ohio Valley towards San Angelo, Texas. And that standard slight risk, I'd say, runs all the way through DFW Metroplex and all the way towards the Ohio River Valley. Of course, with that, in advance of that cold front, we'll have a chance of strong to severe storms during the afternoon and evening hours later today. And tomorrow, all of that activity shifts off to the east, with that marginal risk of severe storms running through the extreme northeast corner of Texas through the Ohio Valley. And of course, surrounding that, we have area thunder. And on day 3, which is Friday, with that cold front basically affecting much of the United States, no thunderstorms are expected on Friday. Here's the average precipitation for the next 7 days. Heaviest totals, of course, remain off to the Ohio Valley. And, of course, down here, we still could see around anywhere from an inch of rain, or anywhere from an inch to around 2.5 inches of rain near the northeast corner of Texas, near the Red River Valley. But down here, closer to home, anywhere from an inch to around an inch and a half could be expected. And again, that's anything that we see today, tomorrow, and the latter half of the weekend into early next week. And we'll show you what we're talking about here as we take a look at the models. This is the 06Z run of the GFS. This is valid this afternoon at noon. You can see we have that cold core trough. You can see we have that deep trough moving off to the east. And down here, we could see a few thunderstorms during the afternoon hours, but the main strong to severe storms comes during the evening hours. This is the HRRR model coming off the HRRR model at 5 o'clock. You can see it doesn't show much, but a few discrete thunderstorms are likely throughout parts of the DFW Metroplex. And of course, we'll continue to see those discrete storms increase during the evening hours. Here are the estimated Cape values coming off the same model. You can see that the Cape values are more than sufficient for some severe storms to get going. The max value is around 2,600 joules per kilogram, over 2,600 joules per kilogram. Of course, especially around this time of the year, that's more than sufficient to get a few severe storms going. This is the STP, the significant tornado parameter. You can see that the values peak out at around 5.5. Now, around those numbers are conducive for an outbreak of severe thunderstorms, but this is not what we're looking at here. We're looking at the potential of a few severe storms that's capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and the potential for a few brief tornadoes, but we're not looking at a severe weather outbreak here. Here's the estimated helicity value. Here's the estimated helicity values. You can see very high values, basically in Collin and Denton counties, and I think that's where the severe weather potential will be maximized across the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex later this afternoon and evening. And like I said before, all modes of severe weather will be possible, including the potential for damaging winds, large hail, and of course the potential for a few tornadoes. And I think most of that will come. This evening at around 5. I'd say a May window from around 5 to 10 o'clock. I think that's where we'll see our peak severe weather. But rest of the day should be a mix of sun and clouds. Highs mostly in the mid to upper 70s. And here's Thursday. The activity rotates out to the east. Look at some of those snows, big snows for places like Iowa, Des Moines, and Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Green Bay. But down here we remain pretty dry with falling temperatures. We start the day in the low 60s, but then we eventually end up in the mid 40s for the rest of the day. Okay, let's go to Friday. Friday, I think, should be mostly dry. We turn sharply cold though, with highs mostly in the mid 40s, with overnight lows in the mid 20s. We start the day well below freezing with a mix of sun and clouds. But then Friday evening we could see a bit of snow for our southern counties, as depicted by the European model. For our far southern counties, we could see a bit of a wintry mix if we can get a little bit cold enough. But on Saturdays, the weekend begins. Saturday, I think we should mostly clear. We'll be mostly cloudy though. Highs mostly in the mid 40s. And Sunday, we'll have moisture beginning to invade a little bit. Highs mostly we start to warm up though. Highs in the mid 50s with a few showers in place. And Monday we turn mostly widespread in terms of scattered showers. Even greater chance on Monday as the week begins. Highs mostly in the low 60s with obviously mostly cloudy skies. Tuesday, that rain doesn't really move much. I think Tuesday will feature mostly a mix of sun and clouds, with a few showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. But luckily, Cape values will be low enough to suppress any risk of severe weather. Here's a week from today, Wednesday, the 13th of February. You can see that trough mostly up to the north, and down here that looks mighty dry. Highs in the low 50s. And here's the end of the 10-day forecast period. This is Saturday, the 16th of February. You can see trough on both sides of the country, and you can see most of the snow and rain action is off to the west. Highs, you can see the numbers coming off the European. Today is our last real mild day, but then then temperatures fall drastically as that cold front comes through. We start the day in the 20s, and on Friday with highs mostly in the 40s and 50s all weekend. But then we have a random temperature spike on Monday, and then for the rest of mid-February we mostly coast with highs mostly in the 50s through 60s. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today. Our morning in the blog. Next video here is expected to be posted at around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you can't catch the local TV stations on the air this afternoon at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and Godspeed.